Good evening, I'm your host, and our top story tonight is the Justice Department's report on the Uvalde school shooting. The report concludes that the response was severely hindered by a near-total breakdown in policing protocols. It points to failures in leadership, decision-making, tactics, policy, and training as contributing factors to the tragedy. Rather than classifying it as an active shooter scenario, law enforcement officials mistakenly treated the incident as a barricaded standoff. This misclassification led to a delayed response, allowing the shooter to remain inside the school for 77 minutes before being confronted and neutralized. Attorney General Merrick B. Garland stated that swift action could have been a lifesaver in this tragic incident. The aftermath of the Uvalde tragedy continues to have ripple effects, with many of the officials in charge that day having been fired or retired. The Uvalde school shooting continues to make headlines, this time due to a leaked surveillance video. The footage, which depicts the chilling scene inside the school and the retreat of officers under gunfire, has sparked a fresh wave of anger, outrage, and astonishment. Families of the victims are particularly aggrieved, their sorrow deepened by the fact that this disturbing video was released to the public before they could brace themselves for its impact. Law enforcement experts are equally dismayed. The actions of the officers, as seen in the video, have drawn harsh criticism, with some even suggesting that every officer depicted should turn in their badge. This video, they argue, is a stark illustration of the near-total breakdown in policing protocols that the Justice Department report identified. The experts' damning assessment of the law enforcement response is echoed by top officials. The Texas Department of Public Safety Director called it an abject failure, while former FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe labeled it a total mess. Such stinging critiques underscore the depth of the crisis facing the law enforcement community in the aftermath of the Uvalde shooting. The leaked footage has only intensified calls for accountability and transparency in the wake of the Uvalde tragedy. In related news, a Texas state trooper who responded to the Uvalde school shooting has been fired. Senator Juan Maldonado, once a respected member of the State Department of Public Safety, has been let go under undisclosed circumstances. This development follows a wave of public outcry over the delayed response to the shooting, which saw 19 students and 2 teachers tragically lose their lives. The firing of Maldonado came after an internal review of the officers who responded to the incident. This review led to 7 officers, including Maldonado, being referred for further investigation. The names of these officers, however, have not been released. In addition to Maldonado's dismissal, the Uvalde School District has taken its own action. The district has fired its police chief, placed another top school official on leave, and suspended its police force operations. These actions reflect a community and a country demanding accountability for a tragedy that left so many lives shattered. As the fallout from Uvalde continues, the demand for accountability grows louder. The Uvalde school shooting has led to another resignation, this time from the school district's police chief. In the wake of the tragic event, Pedro Pete Arredondo has stepped down from his position on the Uvalde City Council. His departure follows a swirl of criticism surrounding his role in the police response to the shooting. The delay in action, which saw officers taking over an hour to enter the classrooms and confront the gunman, has been a major point of contention. Arredondo, who has also been placed on leave from his role as the school district's police chief, has remained silent about his decision-making during the incident. His resignation comes as the Texas Department of Public Safety has pointed fingers at him for the delayed response. However, it's important to note, not everyone is in agreement with this blame game. Some officials have raised questions about this narrative, adding another layer of complexity to an already convoluted situation. As the Uvalde community continues to grapple with the aftermath of the tragedy, the search for answers and accountability continues. All these stories point to the ongoing struggle for justice and accountability in the aftermath of the Uvalde school shooting. We've examined the Justice Department's findings of a near-total breakdown in policing protocols, the public's outrage over the leaked video, the firing of a Texas state trooper, and the resignation of the school police chief. Each story echoes the recurring themes of accountability and transparency and underscores an urgent need for change. The Uvalde incident has broader implications for school safety and law enforcement protocols nationwide. It's a stark reminder that we must continually strive for improvements in our emergency response systems, ensuring that those in positions of power are held accountable for their actions. As we continue to follow the developments in Uvalde, our thoughts remain with the families affected by this tragedy. Stay tuned for more updates. Good night.